So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is the key elements and codes and conventions of magazine covers. So what I want to do is I want to use two different magazines for that. Now there's a difference between what I mean by key elements and codes and conventions. Key elements are the same for every single magazine cover. So it's the stuff that we sort of talked upon in earlier lessons, things like the masthead, tagline, price line, selling line, barcode, etc., etc. So they are the same, where the codes and conventions of magazines are different. So the codes and conventions are genre specific. And we know what we're talking about when we talk about the genres, the different types of magazines, stuff like gaming magazines, gossip magazines, football, sports magazines, etc., etc. So the key thing to remember is that the key elements are the same, the codes and conventions used within magazines are different. So let's just have a quick look at Xbox 360. Let's look at the key elements that we've got here. So again, we've got these are the same as what we talked about before. So we've got a selling line at the top, we've got date and price line, we've got our main cover line, other cover lines, we've got one big main image, a barcode, and some smaller images across here. The other thing that we've got on there which is important is this publisher logo, which I forgot to mention earlier. We can also see that the key elements within here, and some of the stuff that we're looking at are things like, we can talk about the types of fonts that they use, we can talk about colours, etc., etc. Okay, so the codes and conventions of computer game magazines are different. Okay, and the codes and conventions of computer game magazines, we can say that we always have a large image representing the game. We always have a large title, and the fonts are very, they're not very soft fonts, they're very hard, defined fonts. There's always very bold colours on computer game magazines, so we've got a bit, you can see we've got green, we've got black, we've got red, colours that really stand out. We've got bold and large fonts all the way through, here. We've always have smaller images representing the other games with some text about them. We always have catchy text lines. So PS3 is dead, welcome to the next generation. We've got hands-on opinions. There's always graphics to illustrate the cover. So there's all these additional graphical elements used. Now, if we look at the gossip or celebrity magazine, we can see that the codes and conventions are slightly different. Okay, so let's start. We've got large images showing the main stories. Okay, so we've got three main stories. There's usually between 3 and 4, and the images used on there are quite large. We've got a large title here, but we've also got the text for some of the stories going in front of the title. So this is a main drawing point to the magazine. We can see that people actually maybe don't want to know about what the name of the title is. They may just be interested in the story, which is clinging to their men about these 3 celebrities here. So this story has taken up nearly the whole cover. We've got bold colours, which are very feminine. We've got pink here, we've got like a turquoisey blue. We've got this yellow, and that naturally says to us it's a magazine for girls. There's some bold and large fonts. See how large the magazine fonts are here? They stick out, they stand out so people can see them. Smaller images to represent the other stories. The text is always related to either diet, sex, health, or celebrity gossip. And we've also magazine with graphics to illustrate the covers. This magazine uses a lot more bright colours to attract the audience. We've got black, we've got blue, we've got yellow, we've got pink, running all the way through, which makes it very stand out. It makes it seen on the shelves. So they're the differences that we can say to do with the codes and conventions. Remember, the key elements of the magazines are the same. The codes and conventions for each genre are different.